Morning, everybody. I'm Ed Parcaut with Bobby Atkins, and we are the Veterans Edition of Real Estate Jerky. How you doing, Bobby?
Doing great. How you doing, Ed?
Good. Did you have a good weekend? I know it's Tuesday, but it's still close enough to the
Yeah.
weekend.
No, it's good, man. Yeah, everyone's over the sickness and
Good.
looking forward to Christmas.
Looking forward to going back to school and getting more sick, bringing it home for the holidays.
Yeah, well,
I don't miss. That's one thing I don't miss about kids in the house, man. They would bring that stuff home constantly.
Yeah.
And of course, I would get sick. Not my wife, but me.
Yeah, I try to justify it as building the immune system, right? But,
You would think but at a certain age, you've already built it, you would think, but what are you going to do?
oh no. Those bugs like to mutate.
Yeah. All right. Let's get into our story. I got employees trying to break into the studio there. Weekend. I don't know about you, but I was pretty busy over the weekend. People looking to get into places, writing offers, and wanting to get pre-qualified. Because
Yeah.
I think a lot of people realize that it's rates have come down almost 1%. Depending on your FICO score, and I think people are starting to see now is the time to get in there before they come down some more.
Yeah.
Is that what you're hearing, seeing?
I didn't know, but
That's all, folks.
yeah, brain fart. I didn't do an open house this weekend, so
It doesn't mean you're not hearing that.
yeah, but no, I mean, obviously there's a lot more interest in the market than there has been the last 6 months, right? And especially for like first time buyers, the market they're in right now is the market they know. So
Right, and
that's
that
been good.
yeah, there's no more of this. Stop bringing up interest rates. Just tell them what the payment is. I mean, this is to everybody out there, loan officers, whatever, and real estate agent. It's our problem that we remember what it was, unless we were dealing with clients who was trying to buy during that period of time, just couldn't buy. Now the new people just don't, they don't understand.
Yeah. Well, you can't live in the past, right?
No, even though my daughter tries.
Yeah.
How much did you? That was a TikTok where they were like, women are archaeologists because they keep bringing up the past. I'm like that. I said to my wife, and she laughed. But
that's good.
And again, I don't send me bad emails, please, about how bad I am. I just thought it was funny because everybody has their own issues, not just women. But all right. So back to the market before I get really in trouble.
Yeah. So there's an article on realtor.com where they're talking about obviously inventory is still projected to be about 14% lower nationwide, but they think housing prices are going to soften by like 1.2%.
Okay, so on $100,000, that's how much? $100.
Yeah. So yeah, well, so I was going to say on an average house, right? 450 around
so
here.
That's 1,000 for every 100,000.
Yeah,
so it's going to go down $4,000.
So when people see that, they get excited, right? They go, "Oh, is that going to be a trend?" No, not if we have low inventory.
Well, we talked about, I think last week we were saying that it depends whether you have the chicken or the egg situation and one of them is the buyer and one of them is the sellers. If the sellers come into the market way before the buyers come into the market, you could have a little softening. But if the buyers come into the market before all the sellers come into the market, you're going to have an increase. There's a 50-50 chance that you're going to have both, a little bit of either. You know what I mean? This is just nobody really knows. Because I keep seeing articles that says no one's going to sell, no one's going to do anything, no one's going to buy houses with triple interest rates compared to where they are. Not true.
Well, and when people think that rates are going to or the prices are going to soften, I mean, unless it's big, like 20%, it's not a huge deal. A few percent here and there.
Right, but again, it's based off of, like we always say, location.
Yeah.
Tampa, Florida, major maybe softening there, and some other places in Florida that were overbought because people were moving and people aren't moving anymore, and they raised up those prices, and some people are trying to sell to get out, and people aren't looking to buy. Tampa, Florida, the median price is 600 to 800,000. Right? And the town, there isn't jobs like that in the town.
Yeah.
So it's somebody who has money going there as an extra home or this or that. You can't Airbnb it because you just can't make enough money. Those areas like that, you're going to see a softening, but not enough to make up for, the situation. But in California, no softening here. Yeah. I mean, LA is ridiculous. San Diego's ridiculous. Orange County is ridiculously pricing. You got Bay Area. I mean, I looked at conforming loan limits came out a week ago. And of course, every loan officer who doesn't do anything all of a sudden put out a post that, hey, look, conforming loan limits went up to 766, 500, I think it is, 500.
Yeah.
And then, but in our area, FHA didn't move at all. Right. I don't know if you knew that, but
No, I
yeah,
haven't.
it did not move. It's at 517,
Gotcha.
500, exactly where it was last year. And but the only place that it moved, but the minimum, so the baseline for FHA is 65% of the conforming loan limits. Tuolumne County, Calaveras County is in that range. They actually went up 26,000.
Oh,
Where we
okay.
didn't, yeah, where we, because they're always at the base.
Well, I was seeing now FHA loan limit just went up last year, right?
Yeah, it went up every year except for this year.
Okay.
Yeah, which is shocking because conforming loan limits went up. So, went up 40,000 almost. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it just, what's up? You know what I mean? It's like, did they not see the prices? They only went up 6 or 10%. So it wasn't enough to raise the FHA loan limits. Someone, if you look at over the last 3 years, conforming loan limits went up almost 300,000.
Yeah. That's just nuts.
No, that's good if you own real estate, but
Well, I
not
mean,
if you don't. And
yeah, I was gonna say, if
if
you're
you listen to
on
us,
the
that was
buying side, yeah.
yeah. If you listen to us, you're going, thank you so much for helping me get into a home and make this equity. If you didn't listen to us, you're sitting in your rental going, I missed out on the boat.
Yeah. And I was just thinking about a client of mine who was just signed a 1-year lease, and so obviously they're not in the market for another year.
Can't you buy out your lease?
It depends. I haven't asked, but they didn't seem that interested. And it's like you got to change your mindset. You can always be a renter, but owning a home is something you actually have to work towards. So, it's going to take a little commitment, but you're going to be glad in the long run, especially a few years down the road.
Right. But for VA, it's very easy to own a home. What I mean by that is, especially if you're still in or you're not, reserve. If you've been in and you're still in, it's easy to get it because they're giving you money to live off base, right? You make up the difference of a few $100.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. If you're out, like, it's still a great deal because you don't have down payment to worry about. You don't have to really, your EMD doesn't have to be that great because I know usually it's 1%, but on average, we get it back for our clients so they can get their money back. You haven't, and then, you don't have to come in with any money. Doesn't mean you don't have money. And it's such a better program these days that everybody should take it. It's just a win-win right now for vets because they don't pay mortgage insurance. So their payment versus FHA is, a few $100 cheaper.
Well, and question for you. Since obviously we're not around an active military base, we don't see a whole lot of that, but I know you can do loans for all of California. Are there any limitations on what they, as far as using BAH as income?
No.
No. Cause I know like when I was in, I got BAH, and then like a year later, they said no more single people, only married people will get it. Right.
Right. Well, yeah, exactly. You have to be married.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, at the time there's a bunch of us single guys.
Yeah. Well, I got it because there was not enough barracks situation to live in the barracks. They pushed us out, which wasn't great, but married gets a lot more than single does.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of people who get married while they're in just to be married and be able to live off base.
Well, I don't tell anyone, but I almost did that.
They just do it. They just, yeah. That's you
get busted, you're in trouble. Yeah.
Who's going to bust you?
That's what they tell you.
Well, of course, anytime you lie there, you do anything, that's because technically that way, since it's federal, that's a federal offense.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
And when you're 18 years old, it sounds like a good idea, right?
Well, it just depends on situations,
Yeah.
You can always get married and not live together. A lot of people do that.
A lot of people are trying not to live together, right?
Right. Well, that's the biggest thing right now is divorce and how to handle that with, currently your house and everything else. But I want to stay positive. So stay on the
okay.
side.
Yes, it's holidays.
But there is places like I have a client who works for one of the colleges, the military college over in Oakland, and they give him like $3,000 to live every month that is non-taxable to live off base or off, college. So there's federal and state and there's certain other ones that work for VA, and I'll get all that list the next time. What other places that are allowed to use the VA loan, even though they're not a veteran.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Technically not the way we know of a veteran, but you can still have National Guard who goes deployed, who are local, that can now use their VA loan.
Yeah. So they even count like deployed time, even
that
if
you want to get deployed, because then it's automatic.
But
there's no 6 years and all this other stuff.
But I know sometimes like National Guard, they'll get deployed from here to Sacramento.
That's not deployed. That's to be like a true deployment.
Oh, okay. So like leaving the country.
Yeah. Well, it has to be a period of time too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes they get deployed to the Capitol to protect for a few weeks. That doesn't count.
Yeah, yeah. Because like I remember I was talking to a National Guardsman, and he said he got deployed, and I was like, "Where'd you go to?" He's like, "Oh, I went to Sacramento," and I was like, "Oh." I was like, well, maybe the definition and
Well, you have to. I won't deny. I just tell them, let's go to the VA and see what the VA says.
Gotcha.
Because you know they're going to want, when you're a reservist, they want certain documentation uploaded so they can tell you if you're in, it's different because you get it from the base, but if you just got out, it's automatically in there, especially in the last 10-15 years. It's electronically and it's in there easy, so we can order the certificate of eligibility within seconds.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to focus on. So, but again, if you're reservist, it's amount of so long in and so many, but if you were deployed, it's almost automatically.
Yeah. Like I say, I got the service ribbons. It's on my DD 214.
Well, no, the issue that, and I don't mean this wrong. My wife keeps saying, stop saying issues and problems. You have to look at, which people don't realize is, once, a lot of people went in the reserves because they didn't have to do anything. 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year, no big deal. But during a period of time, everybody who was a reservist pretty much got deployed.
Mm-hmm.
And now they can they can do VA so much easier. So it's a win-win. I don't know if it was a win-win for them, but to get a VA loan, because that's a great loan. So, and if you don't have a disability free, please put in for it. Don't say, I'll let the other veterans have it. No, it's your right to put in for a disability and put it in and get it. So you get at least 10%. So you don't have to pay the funding fee. And if you're more than that, 50%, then they give money for you, your kids, and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
And if you're disabled vet, you get like into the parks for free. I don't know if you know that, like all state parks, you can apply for this little card, and now you can get into all states parks for free.
Nice.
Federal parks. Yeah. It's just so, and if you're, depending on how much percentage you are, you get a discount on fishing and your license for hunting, all that stuff.
Yeah. Those licenses are always the ones I forget, man. Like take the kid out fishing down at the creek and you're like, you know what? It'd be my chance. I get caught by a game warden.
Every time I go fishing, game warden walks up.
Yeah.
Every time. Yeah. Can I see your license?
Yeah.
We don't have licenses, sir. I'm just kidding. We always have a license. It's cheaper for the license than to get a ticket.
I'm sure, man. It's just always like last minute, I just don't, I'm not a fisherman. So
Walmart.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're cheap.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. They're in the little department. They'll sell them in Walmart.
Oh, now I know.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I don't think Target does, but I'm not sure. But I know Walmart does. Any of the sporting good places do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Walmart's easy. You just walk in the back, get a fishing license, and go.
Cool.
All right. That's all I have for today. How about you, Bobby?
That's it, man. Thanks, Ed.
We'll talk to you on Thursday. I hope we gave you a little bit of advice about VA loans and other stuff. And we're here every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. Thanks for being here, Bobby.